We need to address that the deportations are coming. And it is not only in the United States, but the ripple of the United States elections, Donald Trump saying that he's going to go with mass deportations, and he naming Tom Homan the one who is going to be in charge. And Tom Homan is more than, excited to do the job. It is something that is having this effect all over the world. We're going to be checking all over that. But first of all, we need to kind of confirm that this is on the way. And we have some reports. Reports are incoming. Donald Trump administration prepared to declare a national emergency and will use military assets to reverse the Biden invasion through a mass deportation program. And real Donald Trump on Truth Social, remember that Truth Social is the main account of Donald Trump, is the main platform. He's now tweeting on X as well. He says that it is true. This is going to be a national emergency, and he's going to get the military assets involved. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be planes to fly people, away from the United States. This is going to be huge in some other ways, but there are no shortage of obstacles. We have to remember that sanctuary cities, for example, cities like New York. I want to make more content about New York, by the way. I will be making maybe one section about New York dedicated in these shows. But right here, we know things like this. This is how far we have gone. A pair of migrants responsible for attacking cops after they were caught trespassing and urinating in a New York subway have been released from custody just a week after they resisted arrest. One of the suspects was carrying an AR-15 firearm in his backpack, a rifle. I understand that it is quite difficult to get a permit for a handgun in New York City. I guess that it is going to be next to impossible to carry an AR-15 with you. And then they attacked the cops. They resisted arrest. They were carrying an assault weapon. That is called an assault weapon, right? Okay. And they were released 1 week after the fact. Why do you think they are released after the fact? Because these judges, I'm going to go on and say this, these judges not only want to, the usual virtue signaling posture. Oh, I want to virtue signal and I'm giving these people a chance. We should not be retaining them and all this stuff. We're going to release them into the streets, I hope, without the AR-15. But at the same time, is to make sure that they keep the streets chaotic. I'm still going to give Eric Adams some kind of opportunity here because he recorded this video regarding those deportations. He was asked a question regarding those deportations.
Okay, a couple of things. Do you think every New Yorker believes there should not or should be mass deportation?
I don't think, for the record, I don't think that every New Yorker believes that. No, some of them should be against and some of them could be pro. That is understandable. But my hunch is that at least 60%, which I have no way of confirming this is absolutely made up by myself, by my impression, 60% of New Yorkers want the deportations to take place. Just my 2 cents.
Do you believe every New Yorker believes that?
No, but you have said you don't think there should be.
Yeah, but you said, how can I advocate for New Yorkers? So I should only advocate for one type of New Yorker or all New Yorkers?
That is a bit of he's trying to play with words, like saying, okay, I cannot have a stance about deportation, but I should be with all New Yorkers. Yeah, but the decision is yours, made. New Yorkers elected you. You're the one who has the call.
Well, that's tough. I don't think you can advocate for all New Yorkers.
Oh, really? Okay, so which New Yorker I shouldn't advocate for? The ones that agree with you or disagree with you?
Well, if you believe there should be no mass deportations, how can people believe that you will advocate for that with the incoming Trump administration?
Yeah, but you set up a question. This is very interesting, the question you set up. So there's certain New Yorkers I shouldn't advocate for?
Okay, in this case, you see that Eric Adams is trying to play with words. He hasn't said no to deportations. That is something. That is something. He hasn't said, oh, we will be against the Trump administration. He knows that he cannot go against the Trump administration. He is not that stupid.
I'm not sure that was my question. My question was, why should New Yorkers trust that you will advocate for them with the administration?
Let's go back again. There's some New Yorkers, there are people who stop me on the street and says, I voted for the president.
Yeah, they voted for the president because they don't want the crime that comes with the unfettered illegal immigration. Unfettered, that is like I'm not speaking like that well, but you don't understand. The illegal immigration, okay? And I'm not saying either that every illegal immigration is a criminal in the sense that they are carrying assault weapons everywhere. But we already know that just by the fact that they enter the United States not through the port of entry, well, that is a problem already. But we also have this thing, and this is the concerning part from Wall Street apes. This is the thing that concerns me. Here we go. Get ready for chaos. Remember that word? I use it a lot when I talk about illegal immigration. Single migrants to be kicked out of closing shelters and dumped on the streets. Chicago, the largest immigrant shelter, is closing. The largest immigrant shelter is closing. More shelters also closing. And only illegal migrant families are being relocated to remaining shelters. All those single illegal migrants in Chicago are going to be released on the streets. So you tell me if that is a good idea. You tell me if it's a good idea. I'm going to play this at twice the speed.
The largest immigrant shelter is closing this Friday. I was there last week, and some residents say that they still have nowhere to go, especially since the new system only considers people who have been in Chicago only for 30 days. Any other plans for them? Any considerations?
Definitely there's considerations. More than just considerations, we're actually doing it. We want to have our Deputy Mayor Beatrice Ponce
Raise the volume.
de Leon speak to that.
Thank you, Mayor. Everyone who's in the shelters right now that are closing, the families are being placed in other shelters, regardless of how long they've lived in the city or in the country. So those families should have another shelter option for families. This isn't the case for singles, and we talked about that before, that there will not be enough for all singles, but we are working with them to give them other resources. And the limit to people the limit on eligibility is for first-time shelter placements. So if you come to Chicago for the first time and you're a new arrival, you want a shelter placement, at this time we're only serving people who've been in the country 30 days or less.
Okay, this is something complicated. You can tell me, okay, Jesus, but what do you stand for? I don't understand you, Jesus. You're saying that okay, they should maybe it would be a way to force them to self-deport themselves. Maybe that's a way. There are reports that some Haitian immigrants, illegal, or they're not illegal, sorry. Haitians in Ohio are leaving the state for other states because they know what's coming. And this, closing the faucet is something that is expected to be happening at some point. But what I see is that if you release, say, migrants on the streets, and if all these cities that have, there's shelters of migrants, and you release the singles on the streets, there's going to be, can't you, I don't know, maybe begin helping with the deportation process? It's like, because if they are on the streets, my guess is that they're going to be harder to, round up for deportation when Trump takes office. It's like, okay, I'm going to give you, it's like I'm going to count to 10 and just disappear from here, so you are not in the registry or something, and well, you do you. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that might have a bad impact on criminality. But, chaos is what they are looking for. And they want to be as disorganized, and they want to be as, have a start in everything by the moment Trump takes office, because that is a way of sabotaging him. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. By the way, remember to download my 100 body language tips in the description of this video, and you will be subscribed to my email list as well. That is important. And